So, interesting surprise here, I guess, coming out of 2020, although I don't know how much of a surprise this is based on previous comments, but the Pope says that same-sex couples should be covered by civil union laws. Pope Francis says in a new film released on Wednesday that homosexuals should be protected by civil union laws in some of the clearest language he has used on the rights of gays. Quote, homosexual people have a right to be in a family. They are children of God and have a right to a family. Nobody should be thrown out or be made miserable over it, he says in the documentary Francesco. So, I have a few thoughts on this. Let's state the obvious first. I would rather have the Catholic Church take this position than take the we're against gay marriage and civil unions position, and we don't like gays, effectively. We think it's a sin, we think it's bad, so we don't want to encourage that in any way, shape, or form, so you should do conversion therapy, basically. The position he's taking is objectively better than the other positions. Having said that, for people who are really going over the top in cheering this, what a low bar. Because there are so many countries around the world that have gay marriage now. So many of them. And they're splitting the difference. They're taking the middle ground position. The Weasley take of like, well, marriage is a union of a man and a woman. So we can't have that for them. But hey, we'll give you the same legal rights and just call it something different. We'll call it a civil union. So they're taking the middle path, even though we've already evolved to the full thing, at least in the US and many other places. And I'm supposed to give you credit? But see, that's the thing is like, if you wanna portray yourself as some sort of moral and ethical authority whose whole purpose on this earth is to try to bring about a more just world and do the right thing and bring about more happiness and equality, limit poverty, end war. Like, if you really want to be a leader on this front, you got to be a leader on the front. You can't, after other nations already evolved to the obvious position of let's treat everybody equally and allow gay marriage, you can't then be like, I'll meet you halfway and still be kind of wrong on it. Well, then I'm not going to praise you. Again, it's better than nothing, but that's such a low bar. It's such a low bar. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the fallout from this because I know there are many Catholics in my family and some of them are rather conservative, and it'll be interesting to see how they view this. Do they view this as like, oh my God, the Pope is going back on what he should be doing and saying? Or will they view it as like, yeah, it's a step in the right direction. You got to treat people equally. So, but I think with a lot of these institutions, what they realize is we either evolve or die. New generations of young, open-minded, tolerant people are not going to see an organization that doesn't like gay people and be like, I'm cool with signing up for that. They're going to be like, I don't really like that. So I think to some extent, it's a matter of necessity. Evolve or die. And he's choosing to evolve, even though it's just a baby step in the right direction. But listen, it really is stuff like this that drives me crazy, is that there are so many things where we have the answers and we know the answers right now, and everybody just drags their feet in society. You know, and actually, to be fair, it's not necessarily the people, it's more of our governing institutions and power centers and the elites. So, like, you know, for example, we know that we're bombing 8 countries and we shouldn't be, but we just keep doing it. And there will come a time where we stop doing it and the empire declines, and then, you know, you read in history books and we're like, yeah, we kept doing that for decades and decades and decades, and the kids will be like, why did you even do it in the first place? And if you did it, why didn't you stop after like a year? I mean, obviously that's crazy. You're killing civilians and everything. And everybody will be like, yeah, you know, you're right about that. We're doing it right now. We're doing it right now, these things. And we just kind of passively accept it, even though we know it's wrong. And that's what annoys me. Passively accepting things that are wrong and not standing up and saying something about it now when we can make a difference. Whether it's the wars continuing, whether it's, you know, millions of Americans not having health care, whatever it might be. But these things are egregiously immoral and unethical. And so forgive me if I'm not, you know, falling all over myself to give credit for the tiny baby step in the right direction, when if anything, if you really wanted to be a moral leader, maybe you should have led the way from the very beginning and said, we think gays should be treated equally and we're in favor of gay marriage. Imagine if the Catholic Church was the first to do that. then that would deserve credit. But no, you're ever so slowly following the moral trends of history and trying to jump in front of the parade a little bit here, and I don't know. It's just such a low bar, and it's like, come on. Can everybody just, let's get to where we know we need to be. I know, maybe I'm impatient, but that's how I feel.